Hello Scorpio, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of the connection. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have a different tarot deck I will be pulling from for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck I will be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, take what helps, leave what doesn't. All right, Scorpio, let's jump on in. On your side of this connection, you have overthinking with the King of Cups in reverse. Obviously, there's been a lot of overthinking when it comes to this connection. I feel as if this person's behavior has been very confusing, and there's a lot of overanalyzing it. You know, looking maybe one day they're really invested in the connection, the next they're, pulled back. One day they're warm, the next day they're cold. Just very back and forth, up and down, left and right kind of energy, which is obviously going to kind of perpetuate that overthinking, right? Because you're not only already overthinking, but then, their behavior causes you to go, well, I don't even know what to think, which makes you overthink more. When you're in an energy of overthinking like that, there's usually something that needs to actually be heard in stillness and outside of your mind. Sometimes when we get so caught up in our head, we lose sight of what we need to actually be looking at. So I feel like, because the overall theme of this reading is knowledge, so I feel as if the universe is saying you already know the right answer, like you know what to do, you already know all there is to know, but you're overthinking so much that you're almost confusing yourself here, and I get why, especially because I feel like you are overanalyzing this person's behavior, because it is a little bit all over the place when it comes to the connection. Now, this person has rest in peace with the Page of Cups in reverse. I view this rest in peace card kind of like the death card. So I feel as if this person, it's almost as if the person who you know that they could be and the person who they are like two completely different people, which again, I feel is where the behavior is confusing, because one day they show up as this person they can be, and then the next day they show up as someone else, and you're like, what the heck is going on? The Page of Cups in reverse is very much an energy of being emotionally unavailable. Talk about emotionally unavailability a lot on this channel, and I definitely feel as if that's something that this person is dealing with. It's almost like they have, one of the first phrases, which I don't usually read these because I want to interpret it outside of just the direct definitions they give, just more intuitively, but is buried emotions. So I definitely feel like this person could have buried emotions about the connection, about their past, that are causing them to be emotionally unavailable. Now, in between this connection, you have leap of faith with the Five of Pentacles. The universe is asking you to really trust that no matter what happens in this connection, that things are working out for your highest good. And for you to get what it is that you ultimately want in love. And that can be really hard to believe when you haven't experienced it. But you're deserving of experiencing it. And when you act in that capacity, you actually create it. So, I don't know. I feel like their behavior, their behavior as you questioning everything, you second guessing, and there's a need to kind of cut through that static and see straight to some deeper truth or just some clarity here that I feel you're missing in the midst of all the overthinking. But let's see. That's just the overall energy. So let's get into the story. Scorpio's side of this connection, please. Scorpio side of the connection. Whoa. 9 of Pentacles. In reverse with the 2 of Swords. Okay. You are afraid that if this connection doesn't work out, you will never have what it is that you truly desire in love. I feel like for whatever reason, you feel as if this person is your one shot at having what it is that you desire, which is why I feel there's so much overthinking. There's a lot of pressure that's been placed on this connection for you. I see that a lot when people label someone as like a twin flame or a soulmate, and they say, you know, this is the only person that I can be loved by, and if I'm not loved by this person, I'm going to be settling or I'm going to be alone forever. Something of that nature is going down. It's almost as if you've placed this person as in a very deep importance in your life, and you're making them almost more important than yourself here a little bit, because it is affecting your decisions. It's affecting the way that you're approaching this, which happens, and that's okay, but that can make it really hard to do what is ultimately best for you in the moment when there is all of that pressure on the connection. Scorpio's side of the connection. There's the truth. I mean, something about this connection has been very burdensome for a while. You've been really weighed down by this. It's almost like you've been carrying the weight of it, the weight of what it isn't, the weight of what you want it to be, and it's become over time a lot to bear, because at one point I feel like it was something very different than it is now. But it almost feels like it became what it is now in a very drastic way. It's a very drastic change. So, and that's why I feel like you're like, oh, is this person who they used to be, or who they are now, or who they showed me they were? I feel like it's a little bit of both, but I feel as if this person was most likely wearing a mask in the beginning of this connection. But over time, yeah, it's just become really heavy for you to bear. It's like you're holding on to the hope of it all, because you think that if it doesn't work, you're not going to have what it is that you desire, right? Like we just talked about, which makes it even heavier to bury. There's a lot going on here. Okay, Scorpio's side of the connection. Scorpio's side of the connection to the person they're dealing with. Yeah, see, there's a lot of hope. You have hope that things are going to be different, but boy, are you unhappy with how things are. You don't want to lose this, but you're putting up with so much so that doesn't happen. You're bearing so much so that you don't lose this connection. What's going on with them? Rest in peace with the Page of Cups in reverse. This person's energy towards Scorpio. Oh gosh. This person's energy towards Scorpio, please. Okay. Whoa. We literally just saw the Six of Wands with the Five of Pentacles in reverse on your side. Yeah. There's the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So they've got the Six of Wands, Five of Pentacles in reverse. But then the Three of Wands in reverse too. So what? Let's break this down. I feel like this is more alluding to what we just talked about. You're putting up with so much for the hope of what this could be. Now, they have the Three of Wands in reverse, which means that they're kind of choosing the path of least resistance, the one that feels the most comfortable, the one that requires them to step out of their comfort zone the least. And that is not where healthy, vulnerable relationships are created. Healthy, vulnerable relationships will always push you out of your comfort zone, but it feels as if this person isn't willing to step out of their comfort zone for some reason. But there's obviously a mirror, right? If like, it's almost like we're, because I think that they wanted this connection to work too, They have hope in it too. But it makes them uncomfortable. It pushes them out of their comfort zone in ways that they don't know how to handle. This person's energy towards Scorpio. It's like you're waiting on them to act, to take action, to show up, because here you are. You're waiting on them. Here, you could be dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but you definitely don't have to be. It's like you're waiting on them to act, to change, to come back, to apologize. I don't know, but they're headed the other direction. They're running away from this. But why? Because I'm gonna just keep pulling. So they're running. They're getting the heck out of this because it makes them feel so uncomfortable. Not because you're doing anything wrong or because you make them feel uncomfortable, but it's like, they're emotionally unavailable. They don't want to feel things. You probably make them feel things and they're like, I don't want to feel things. How can I not feel things? And they're acting in alignment with that. This person's energy towards Scorpio. Oh my gosh. This person's energy towards Scorpio, please. It's their lack of vulnerability here that made things fall apart. Could be it's like, I feel like they are self-sabotaging. I feel like they're running away from something that they truly desire, but they don't know how to handle it. Now, that's probably why you have so much hope. And then changing or in things getting better is because you know that they want it to work, but it's like they're not capable of like making it work in some way. This Knight of Wands in reverse is like, I feel all the information you need, because it's like, they don't know how to be vulnerable. They don't know how to open up. So they're doing whatever they can to not do those things, which I feel is the result of how this connection unfolded the way that it did. And there's nothing you could have done. There's nothing you could have done to change this person's behavior. That's what you're needing to know. This isn't, you couldn't have done anything to get this person to open up, to be vulnerable here. That has to be something that they decide from within. Because if they're running from this, then they're ultimately running from themselves. They're running from facing their own emotions, their own inner truths, and it's being reflected and running away from you, because I do feel like there is quite the mirror here. But let's redirect this back to you, because I want to know more about what, you can't do anything about this, right? You can't change what someone does or how someone handles their stuff. Scorpio's side of the connection. Scorpio side of the connection, please. They don't know that you're waiting? Seven of Swords with the Three of Wands. They don't know that you're waiting on them? You're hiding. Okay, what is going on here? Clarifying the Seven of Swords with the Three of Wands. Seven of Swords with the Three of Wands, please. There's the King of Wands in reverse, their lack of action. Give me just a second. I don't know if they have any idea how much they mean to you. I don't know if you just haven't told them. I don't know if you have told them and they don't believe it, but it's like you've held back a lot of how you really feel here. Now, it's like you're waiting on them to change. Maybe you're like, well, when they change, that's when I'll be honest, or that's when I'll. I don't know. I don't know what this is. This is freaking me out. Seven of Swords, Three of Wands. I'm gonna get. I always figure it out, but give me just a second, because what are you hiding from them? Like, what are you? Because what it feels like, yeah, it's like you're waiting for them to change in some way. You're waiting for them to be different, for things to get better. And I feel like here's the hard thing. You're holding out for a version of them that they aren't right now. And maybe that's why you're not being honest with them about like what you need or what you're looking for, is because maybe it's like you already know they can't be that for you, but yet you're holding on and you're waiting for them to be what you need in some way. And that is keeping you very much stuck, because things continue not to change. It's almost like, I don't know if you've just stopped feeling like asking for your needs to be met is even worth it. Like if you're like, oh, every time I ask for it met, like they don't ask for my needs to be met, like they don't show up for it, or it doesn't even end up mattering. They don't know how to be vulnerable. Like every time I try to have a conversation, they just run away from it. So you stop doing it over time, or what? But you are holding back a lot. But like at the same time waiting for them to change. So you have given away a lot of your power here, Scorpio. A lot of your power. And a big part of that is because you're basically saying, I need this person to change, to stop running, to be vulnerable, to open up in order for me to be happy. Which you might feel like you're not chasing, because you're not like texting them, calling them, telling them all these things all the time, but you are still chasing because of the waiting. The waiting is chasing. You're waiting on them. But putting up with so much heaviness in the meantime, it's like punishing yourself for their inability to be what you need. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sense of this. So let me just keep pulling. Scorpio's side of the connection. There's something very karmic going on here. Something very punishing yourself for them not being what you need them to be. That I'm going back to that again, because it's almost like you're like, I need to be miserable while I wait for this person to change, or while I wait for them to grow, or while I wait for them to. And the universe is saying, no, that's not a truth. That's karmic. That's something very, very karmic. Because you're trying to bear the burdens of this person's emotional unavailability, and you're saying, I can't be happy until they're available. Can't be happy until they are able to love me in the way that I deserve. And that's not true. Scorpio's side of the connection. Scorpio's side of the connection. You're not seeing things clearly here, Scorpio. You're not seeing things clearly. There is a new perspective that is needed. This is not, what's happening here is not what you think. I definitely feel like I'm speaking to maybe partially a collective that thinks they're dealing with a twin flame, but is actually very much dealing with a karmic connection. Or a karmic twin flame or whatever. I'm not saying there isn't a spiritual purpose or a spiritual connection. I'm saying that the purpose of the connection might not be romantic. And I feel like I'm speaking to a collective that is holding out for like this person to, and it doesn't have to be in the twin flame capacity, but like holding out for this person to change or to come back or to choose them or whatever the case is, and like are so miserable waiting for that to happen, and it continues not to happen, which just hurts even more. And the universe is saying you need to cut through the static of this because you have the answer already. The answer is in how you feel, because this isn't what you think it is. This isn't what you think it is. Let me get more. This person's energy towards Scorpio. And what's happening here is very much a blessing in disguise. This person's energy towards Scorpio. Page of Cups in reverse, Chariot in reverse. It's like they're coming from this place of being very, like there's no progression here. Chariot in reverse, Page of Cups in reverse. Same Page of Cups in reverse is right there. No progression. They're very much emotionally closed off. They are not in a place in their life where they are able to give you what you deserve. But for whatever reason, you are allowing yourself to be miserable while you wait for them to be able to, and the universe is saying things aren't moving in that direction. There's no progress in that way, so what are you waiting on? And remember how I started out this reading. I said the universe is asking you to trust that no matter what happens in this connection, it's happening for your highest good, for you to have what you deserve and love. It isn't what you think it is. This person's energy towards Scorpio. There's the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Things falling apart. This was always gonna happen. This connection was supposed to fall apart. This wasn't supposed to work out. Because there is a deeper purpose here for you, but it's not about the connection. It's about your own personal and spiritual growth journey. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with understanding that you are not here to wait to be happy until somebody else heals. You're not here to fix anyone. You're not here to heal anyone. You're not here. This is not about anybody else. This is about you. This is about your journey. This is about cultivating joy and happiness and abundance and love in your life without somebody else's permission to do so. But you've given so much of your power away to this person by thinking you need them to heal, to be happy, to be loved. You don't. And you think you do, but you don't. This was always bound to happen. This was inevitable. It's like it was written in the stars. And I'm not saying you and this person were written in the stars. I'm saying this connection not working out the way that it did was written in the stars. Now, I'm not saying it could never come back together, but I'm saying you are still chasing this connection. And even if you are dealing with what is, the concept of a twin flame, even if you are dealing with what you believe is a twin flame, you have to get to a point of indifference in your life where your happiness doesn't depend on that person. And right now, your ability to be happy is completely dependent on this person, which is actually gonna keep you further away from any kind of reunion or attracting the love that you deserve and desire, that it is going to pull you close to it. Now, that's not saying it can't happen. It's saying that it has nothing to do with what this person does. There are certain things that are needing to be healed and addressed within you that this connection is bringing to the surface, and directing your attention to those things is the only way to move forward. This isn't about them, and this isn't what you think it is. I know I've said that a lot of times, but it's important that you know that. This person's energy toward Scorpio, please. Four of Swords in reverse. This person's in a phase in their life where they need to be alone. It's like they need to spend time in solitude and silence. And they need to heal. That's not saying they are doing that, it's saying they need to do that. Because they're not where they need to be to love you in the way that you deserve. They don't have that capacity. So, with that being the case, and knowing that, because that's the knowledge, you already know, that's the knowledge. You already know everything you need to know, but your approach needs to change. Because you're saying, oh yeah, I know that person's emotionally unavailable, and I know that they can't love me in the way that I deserve, and I know that, they're prioritizing other things, or they're choosing karmic paths, or whatever the case is, but I'm going to wait till they don't. The universe is saying, what you are not changing, you are choosing. And by choosing to wait on somebody to be different, you are accepting the level of treatment, the level of love that you are currently receiving, and what you accept is what you create. So you are continuing to create this same experience over and over and over again. And I don't think you're very happy here, Scorpio. I definitely don't think you're happy. You're hopeful. It's investing in it for the hope of it all. That's what it feels like, for the hope of it all. For the hope of what could be, for the hope of this person changing, for the hope of something different happening. But being absolutely miserable in the meantime. And that is not what you deserve. But that's why you're being asked to take a leap of faith. So in between this connection, you have leap of faith with the Five of Pentacles. I'm going to pull 9 different messages, and I have an advice card to close out this reading at the very end. Thank you so much, Scorpio. Sorry, I'm like discombobulated by this reading. Because of this reading. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but it's intense. All right. Thank you so much, Scorpio, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Scorpio, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right. Bye, Scorpio.